Wagner vanished, but Russia never left. Now the African Corps storms in. From Mali to Syria, the war morphs. Ukraine hits back in the shadows. Sabotage, drones, captured fighters. In Prigozhin's wake, Moscow isn't stepping back. It's doubling down. This is VERTEX, and this is not the end of war. It's just the next chapter. In June 2025, the Russian Ministry of Defense officially confirmed Wagner mercenaries are no longer operating in Mali. Their role has been taken over by a new Kremlin-controlled unit known as the African Corps. According to the UK Ministry of Defence, this state-run force now includes at least 2,000 personnel, equipped with over 100 pieces of heavy weaponry, such as tanks, multiple launch rocket systems, armoured vehicles, and tactical bombers.
The Kremlin has fully replaced Wagner in Mali to tighten central control. This reflects a broader shift in Russian foreign military posture, away from proxy groups and toward state-run operations.
This latest shift comes amid a broader Kremlin effort to rein in the once untouchable Wagner private military company, whose independence from the Russian Ministry of Defense became a liability following its 2023 armed mutiny led by Yevgeny Prigozhin. Prigozhin's subsequent death in a plane crash, widely suspected to have been orchestrated by the Russian state, left a power vacuum in Wagner's foreign operations. The group's remaining leaders were either absorbed into the Russian Ministry of Defense or sidelined. In Africa, the Kremlin's message is clear. Wagner is no longer the face of Russia's interests.
Africa Corps has taken over Wagner's base near Bamako International Airport and assumed responsibility for VIP protection, strategic infrastructure, and counterinsurgency.
According to the UK Ministry of Defence, the new unit, officially dubbed the Africa Corps, is now headquartered near Bamako Airport, where Wagner had operated since 2021. These troops are not mercenaries. They are deployed directly under the command of the Russian Ministry of Defense, marking a full nationalization of Moscow's African military footprint. The withdrawal is part of a long, slow purge. After Wagner's failed 2023 mutiny, led by Yevgeny Prigozhin, the Kremlin began dismantling its overseas footprint country by country. Wagner was first pushed out of Syria in late 2023. Then Libya, where its contract was revoked in early 2024. Now Mali, one of Wagner's most prized African operations, is following the same path. Wagner's former presence in Mali had been substantial. Reports by Reuters and RFI indicated that by 2022, more than 1,000 Wagner fighters had been embedded with Mali's junta-led forces, offering security in exchange for mining concessions and geopolitical loyalty. But the African Corps, fully state-owned, centrally commanded, now occupies the same terrain. And this time, there is no plausible deniability. The shift is not just administrative, it's tactical. The African Corps, unlike Wagner, has access to formal Russian military assets. Satellite imagery published by BBC Verify and confirmed by Jane's Defence Weekly shows Il-76 and An-124 aircraft delivering equipment and personnel to Bamako as early as May 2025. According to the Kyiv Post report, the creation of the African Corps signals Moscow's pivot to formal military structures in Africa, sidelining the Wagner model. But Wagner hasn't disappeared entirely. Pockets of fighters remain, especially in the Central African Republic, where roughly 2,000 Wagner contractors are reportedly providing personal protection to President Faustin-Archange Touadera, and in Belarus, where up to 300 fighters were stationed after the mutiny, as per the Belarusian Hajun monitoring group. Yet across most of the African continent, the Wagner brand has collapsed. And not just because of Moscow. Kyiv, too, has declared war on Wagner, far beyond its borders. Ukraine's military intelligence agency, the HUR, has been conducting covert operations against Wagner operatives in Sudan, Syria, and Mali, according to a report by Kyiv Post and corroborated by CNN. In Sudan, video footage released by the Kyiv Post in November 2023 and March 2024 shows suspected Wagner convoys being destroyed by Ukrainian drones. In some clips, QR forces can be seen interrogating captured Russian mercenaries as per Kyiv Post. In Syria, Ukrainian special units reportedly targeted Wagner-linked weapons depots near Aleppo and Deir ez-Zor, including a UAV assembly site at Kuwaira's airbase, according to a March 2024 briefing by Ukraine's HUR. And in Mali, insurgent groups fighting Wagner have begun to wave Ukrainian flags. In late 2024, Tuareg rebels overran a Wagner-Malian joint patrol in Kidal, reportedly killing 84 Wagner operatives and 47 Malian troops, according to France 24 and Radio Tamazga. In November 2024, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had also declared that Ukraine was prepared to share its experience in dismantling Wagner mercenaries with African nations.
Ukraine stands ready to share its experience in destroying Wagner terrorists with any African country that seeks help.
For Ukraine, Wagner is not just a threat, it's a global adversary. For Russia, Wagner has become a liability. Following Prigozhin's death in a suspicious plane crash in August 2023, Moscow moved quickly to decapitate what was left of the group's leadership. Since then, multiple reports have emerged, via the Dossier Center and Der Spiegel, of Wagner commanders either being reassigned to Russian army units or disappearing entirely. Russia's new approach, symbolized by the African Corps, may appear more conventional, but it could prove far more dangerous. While Wagner operated under the cover of ambiguity, the African Corps has full state backing, greater resources, and formal rules of engagement. According to UN investigators, Wagner fighters were involved in dozens of human rights abuses across Mali and the Central African Republic, including extrajudicial killings, torture, and forced labor at gold mining sites. With the Russian state now formally in charge, accountability may be even harder to enforce. For the Kremlin, the stakes are not just about Mali. Africa remains a critical arena for Russian diplomacy and economic access, from mining concessions to arms deals to votes at the UN. Wagner's informal empire once spanned at least 10 African nations. But now, that empire is being recast in the uniform of official Russian battalions. The war in Ukraine, the fallout from Prigozhin's mutiny, and Kyiv's escalating global intelligence campaign have all converged to redraw the battle lines. This is not just a tactical shift, it's a geopolitical reset. For Ukraine, the Africa theatre offers new front lines where it can disrupt Moscow's influence with plausible deniability. And for Africa, it raises old questions in a new form. Who controls the guns and at what cost?